Perhaps something in this story relates to your story or of someone you know. Age spot? Skin cancer? Fungal infection? It took a while to find out. The half-inch spot on my collarbone convinced me to schedule a checkup. Since anyone over 25 tends to dislike the word age, assuming the spot was an age spot wasn't a happy thought. But it wasn't the first new spot that I'd seen in recent years, so I figured that's all it was, a humbling reminder that I'm not a kid anymore. But I was naturally a bit concerned because it had 4 of the 5 characteristics of skin cancer: asymmetry, border, scalloped, color, splotchy, and dimension, larger than a pencil eraser. Having only recently noticed it, I didn't yet know if it was evolving. My doctor couldn't tell if it was serious just by looking, so a biopsy was scheduled. While waiting for that appointment, the spot began to change. Evolving. Naturally, my mind raced. And though I hadn't been out in the sun much, at least in recent years, my skin, from shoulder to shoulder, felt like it was badly sunburnt. That burning feeling also began to spread. A search for medical information on the internet both confirmed and diminished my fears. So I opted to wait for the biopsy. As you may have also experienced, the weeks of waiting were excruciating. A common question came to mind. If the life expectancy is short, how will that change the way I spend my remaining time? A noble thought came. If it's indeed something life-threatening, then even if I don't feel well, I plan to spend the rest of my earthly life evangelizing. Then came the thought, and what if it's not? Life-threatening, that is. Will you go back to lukewarmness? I was certainly not tepid regarding my health concerns. Photos occasionally taken while waiting indicated that something was spreading under the skin's surface. I continued to pray, "Thy will be done, Lord." If God believes it would be best that I be laid to rest before things get crazier than they already are on this planet, I had to be willing to die. But I also had to be willing to live. I realized that I had to have childlike faith to endure the coming tribulation. I know that God will give His children the needed courage to live through anything. But did I have the willingness to live through it? By God's mercy and grace, He's helping me to be willing. Ever since seeing the first spot, an incredible peace has been given. Even when the clinic that was to do the biopsy postponed it, I had to trust that there were good reasons. Even when seeing a growing number of irregular patches of skin like these, I knew that my Heavenly Father was in control and that He would never leave me nor forsake me. Even when the initial blood work led to a referral to a rheumatologist, I had to leave it all up to the Lord. It became more obvious that the spots and symptoms were related to some sort of fungus when discovering mildew inside my AC unit. White powdery spots on surfaces near the unit, and several shapes like this on my wool coat. Interestingly, this picture that was taken months before, when the coat was still wrinkled, being fresh out of the delivery package, had many fungal-shaped spots on it. Noting on delivery day that there were some fabric irregularities, I, not being a wool expert, figured they were simply that, fabric irregularities. But now it's clear that it had fungus. They say that wool has antifungal properties, but that it can indeed harbor mold in humid climates and in poor storage conditions. The website where it was purchased listed this last in its bullet points: made with care in Shanghai, China. That's not to knock what's made in China, but the long transport time had likely contributed to the wool harboring fungi. The coat was hung outside in the sun, hoping to salvage it, since it was a gift from my mother. But I may have to forego it. When I explained to her the situation, she agreed that my health is worth far more than that or any coat. Back when first discovering the mildew in the AC unit and the fungi in the coat, I needed to leave my home for a week-long stay at a friend's home. I really dreaded returning home for the cleanup effort, but I disliked living with spores even more. So, opting for hydrogen peroxide over vinegar and bleach, I masked up and gloved up and sprayed down the walls. I vacuumed the rug and mopped the floor. I sprayed peroxide on my stuff as well. The landlord had cleaned the AC unit while I was away that first week. After I came home, I covered it up. My cleaning project was a good distraction from waiting for the biopsy appointment. The appointment finally came. 2 skin biopsies were done. A shave biopsy of the spot on the collarbone, and a punch biopsy on my calf, which really bled. Thankfully, the video that I saw of a punch biopsy being done wasn't viewed until after one was done on me, or I may not have let one be done on me. Whew. A nurse from the clinic called to inform me that both biopsies were benign. One was a seborrheic keratosis, a common non-cancerous skin growth in older adults, and the other was a lentigo, another fancy name for an age spot. I'm appreciating that A word a little more than before, considering that the C word was another possibility. I'm thankful for this experience. It has added a renewed appreciation for life, as well as added urgency to my ministry. And now I know some protocols for treating conditions that I may someday see in others. You may be wondering, like I was, what about the fungal part of the puzzle? I guess my doctor was more concerned with the cancer possibility. So after the nurse gave me the benign results, I asked her what I should do about the fungal concern. She talked with my doctor, who prescribed a 2-week antifungal. Natural fungal detox products abound, and I had every intention of taking the herbal route to avoid pharmaceuticals. But after reading on several reputable sites that most fungal skin infections require very potent medicines to totally eradicate them, I resigned myself to accepting a prescription. I hope it's not a lack of faith, but just being balanced, knowing that certain pathogens on our sin-sick planet are growing resistant to what originally would be an effective natural remedy. The results of that decision may be for an upcoming video.